I want to see all students, Black, Native, Latinx, and white, excel in school, be unashamed of who they are, and contribute to an emancipated world. This desire is a driving force of my career. For Black students, they open a math book and see the Pythagorean theorem, the Cartesian coordinate system, and Da Vinci's golden rectangle. But those are all named after Europeans. And some of that naming is bogus. For instance, there is no actual evidence that Da Vinci used the golden rectangle in his paintings. So in my research, I seek ways that culture, math, and computing can be a bridge and not a barrier. Some of the kids get deep into the culture side. Some do mashups that combine cultures. Some just like to geek out with code and math. For example, these secondary students are from Harlem Academy in New York. They're posing with a quilt that they designed, using a tool for culturally relevant learning. They studied an African American quilting tradition known as Gee's Bend, as well as some Native American designs, but they ended up deciding to combine these Appalachian hexagons with what I think of as Black color sensibilities. Once they had their virtual design done, the students created a physical quilt textile using a no-sew applique process. They're learning computational thinking, a core idea in computer science that describes the process of creating algorithms, the basis of any computer program. And that is really the concept of heritage algorithms, not reducing culture to code, but expanding coding to embrace culture. My name is Audrey Bennett, and I'm an inaugural University Diversity and Social Transformation Professor in the Penny W. Stamps School of Art and Design at the University of Michigan. My mission as a scholar is to confront historical racist theories and contemporary systemic racial oppression with research-generated theory that can galvanize wicked solutions to wicked problems in society, exacerbated or motivated by racial oppression. For instance, one wicked problem that I've been researching for the past 20 years is how to make STEM college majors and entry-level professions more diverse, how to transform teaching practices and enable secondary students of color to thrive in these majors and careers. Dismantling anti-Black racist design drives my research. I want to develop new ways of understanding and teaching about abstract ideas, like computational thinking or the thinking behind the creation of computer algorithms, by showing how these concepts can appear in Black youth's everyday lives. For example, my research emphasizes heritage algorithms. Heritage algorithms refer to computing concepts inherent to indigenous artifacts and cultural practices. For instance, a key idea in computing is that layering a shape in different sizes can create complex patterns. Take quilting, for example. Quilting is a tradition of tiling geometric shapes in meaningful rhythmic patterns. Quilting occurs in African American, Native American, Latinx, and rural Caucasian cultures. By talking about computational thinking concepts like layering complexity while creating a quilt block that holds personal meaning, students can see a direct connection between this concept important in computer science and their own cultures and experiences. Take this design, for example. We had a group of mostly Anishinaabe students working in polar coordinates because that is how the medicine wheel is arranged. That is to say, they had successfully translated from the radial symmetries for their tradition to its expression in code. But there was a visiting pair of students from the Navajo Nation who decided they wanted to make a design that reflected their background. Since they were part of the larger workshop, they too began with a medicine wheel. but then added the fourfold symmetry from Navajo rug design. So students are moving across cultural boundaries, disciplinary boundaries, and in the case of this fabric, even the virtual physical boundary. This is the power of heritage algorithms and of using anti-racist theory that emphasizes culturally situated design to create more inclusive learning environments. So you may be wondering, do heritage algorithms like quilting help Black and Indigenous students learn? We designed a tool called Culturally Situated Design Tools to facilitate access by secondary students underrepresented in STEM to the heritage algorithms in quilts and other Indigenous cultural art practices. Over the past 20 plus years, we have been studying how CSDT impacts Black and Indigenous students' learning of computing concepts by conducting workshops in schools. We found that CSDTs are effective at conveying computing concepts through a survey that we provide at the start of each workshop before the students engage with our culturally situated curriculum, and then again after the workshop. We want to expand the use of CSDTs broadly, since it is an effective tool to use that creates more inclusive learning spaces and impacts engagement, learning, and career outcomes. The CSDT on quilting is freely available 24/7 at csdt.org. CSDT is one way to incorporate cultural relevance into learning environments to facilitate diversity in college majors and professional careers in science, technology, engineering, art, and math. It is my hope that more scholars will adopt heritage algorithms and other practices that situate cultural relevance in classrooms as a critical approach to reconstructing anti-racist learning systems that enable students of color, like those from the Harlem Academy, to thrive.